Welcome to the Best 5-Minute Wine Podcast with Forrest Kelly.
Everything that stands in the way of success is ultimately something that's going to propel your success.
Best 5-Minute Wine Podcast.
Okay, one of the last questions I have for you. Well, let's reiterate: drinkfreespirits.com. drinkfreespirits.com. And we'll get your thoughts on how to navigate the website and how to do all of that in just a second. But the last thing I want to ask you is, now that you've got this product out and people are buying it and loving it and reordering and things, and you're making money and things are looking good, if you could go back in time to when you were first starting it out, you were much younger back then, what advice would you give yourself?
I would convince myself to not take things so personally, and to know that, everything that stands in the way of success is ultimately something that's going to propel your success. I think too many times in the early days of this thing, every big existential threat we faced, I saw as the big existential threat. And I've just kind of come to realize that, especially, this is in life in general, but certainly when it comes to, this entrepreneurial journey, staying in the game, not quitting is the number one, the single most important thing that you can do to ensure success. And I used to just think in black and white, like existentially, like everything's trying to kill us, when the reality is that, that deal that I didn't get wasn't the right deal. And ultimately, a year later, we got a better deal, or, that investor that didn't invest was not the right investor. And, I think ultimately I would have enjoyed the ride more if I had the now me or somebody more wise helping me understand that, that failure is not the end. Failure is the beginning of almost everything.
That's a good attitude to have. I can definitely say, going to drinkfreespirits.com, it is very simple. I have been trying to buy a car and going through navigating websites with oh my gosh, it's just, come on, people. Can you make it easy?
Yeah.
Just make it simple. So going to your website from that perspective is so nice. So encourage people to not only try your product, but to go to your website and give us some advice, and as we say goodbye. And thank you very much for your time.
Yeah, no, thanks for having me, man. This is fun. And yeah, I think that, if you're somebody that, likes to punctuate social occasions or a night, even if it's just a Tuesday night, elevating a Tuesday night with a great margarita or an old fashioned or a Negroni, even if you're just sitting there, on Netflix, or if you're hanging out with some friends, a great cocktail just makes that situation, ever more special. And sometimes those occasions are, ones where you want to have some alcohol, some are not, some are, where you have a little bit. And so, I think, what you find at drinkfreespirits.com is, a bunch of options that allow you to do all those things we talked about early days, earlier in the conversation, celebration, relaxation, just enjoyment of life with a cocktail, but done in a way that allows you to say, yeah, I'm going to do that, and I'm not going to, mess with having too much alcohol, and I'm not going to deal with a hangover, and I'm going to have these delicious cocktails and live a healthier life.
If somebody just wants to dip a toe, they're a little bit nervous, what would you recommend that they buy as a starter?
I am inclined to recommend the Spirit of Tequila, which is our Reposado tequila alternative, and a really nice margarita mix. Or as simple as our tequila, our non-alcoholic tequila with some lime juice and agave nectar, and you're all set. Really nice to talk to you, Forrest. Thanks again.
Oh yeah, blow that horn. Spin it to win it. And you can like and follow us on our social media and join in our collaborations on Insta, X, you know where. The Best Wine Pod. The Best Wine Pod.
Best 5-Minute Wine Podcast.